Howdy, folks. I'm Brian,
I'm Amber.
and here's some Saturday morning special Reddit. Alright, folks, our letter this morning is titled, Am I a jerk? Or not am I a jerk, but I'm a 30-year-old female, and my stepmother, a 45-year-old female, wore white to my wedding on purpose. Am I right to cut her out? This is a bit of a long backstory, but I'll try to stick with the bare facts. My parents divorced when I was 13. My mother, a 55-year-old female, found out that my father, a 57-year-old male, was cheating on her with my now stepmother. Sarah, not her real name, a 45-year-old female. My mom was heartbroken by this, and so was I. I saw him after their divorce, but only when I was forced to. Weekends and some holidays. I was very angry with him the entire time and actually refused to speak with him for about 6 months. When I was 15, he married Sarah. I didn't want to go to their wedding, but my mom and dad insisted that I go. Because of that, and because I was angry, spiteful, and a rude teenager, I decided to do something that would ruin their wedding. I know as an adult that this was a horrible thing to do. I wore a blue dress to the wedding, but under it, I had hidden a white dress. I went to the wedding with my dad and younger brother, Sam, a 25-year-old, in my grandfather's car, and when we got to the church, I pretended I had to nip back to the car. I went outside, I took off the blue dress, and then I came back in the white dress. Both my dad's family and the bride's family were furious, but they obviously couldn't kick a 15-year-old out of the wedding, so they decided just to carry on and got married, but it clearly spoiled it for them. Even in the photos outside of the church, Sarah looked mad. Sarah's family wanted to kick me out, but my dad held it together and told them to ignore it. This seemed to be going okay until the videographer asked me to say something on camera, and I said, "Let's hope this one lasts." At that point, my dad called a taxi and had it take me home. He stopped insisting that I visit him, and I didn't see him for a good few years. Well, my father and I rekindled our relationship when I was in my early 20s. I had a health scare, and we reconnected over that. We've been on good terms since then, although Sarah has never forgiven me. Even though I've apologized to her multiple times, real apologies too, I do feel very bad about what I did to her. It wasn't fair, and I'm sorry. Well, a month ago, my husband and I got married. I noticed during the ceremony that Sarah was wearing a white bridal-style dress. Not exactly a wedding dress, but similar. When I caught her eye, she was smirking at me. I didn't let it affect anything, and just carried on with the wedding. We still had a great time, and I think aside from my immediate family, who got the reference, everyone else just thought it was a bit strange. Well, later on, when we were reading the guest book, I saw that she had written in exactly what I said to her 15 years ago. After both of these incidents, I spoke to my husband and told him that I didn't want her in my life anymore. That I thought that if we had children, that she would be a toxic influence on their lives, and that I think I would prefer to cut her out. He agreed if that's what I wanted. I told my dad that he's always welcome to visit us, but that I'll no longer be having contact with his wife. My dad basically said it's both of us or neither of us. And my mom also thinks that I should reconsider for the sake of keeping peace. Am I overstepping the mark by going no contact? Alright folks, what do you think?
No, I don't think OP is overstepping here. What the stepmom did was really, really cruel. It's understandable that she's going to be upset that someone wore white to her wedding, but also OP was there under duress.
Yeah.
And that's why you don't force people to go to your wedding.
Yeah, well, I think it's a general rule that you should not force people who do not want to go, who you've hurt, to go to your wedding, because they're going to make a mess of the situation.
And OP was a child then. She made a poor decision, and she has apologized for it sincerely.
Yeah. 15 years ago.
Yeah. To hold on to this for 15 years. I mean, what adult wears white to their stepchild's wedding?
Apparently one who's very bitter about...
Well, exactly. She's a very bitter, spiteful person who clearly hates OP. I don't blame OP for not wanting her around her future children. I think that's a good choice because this woman is not going to be a kind, loving influence.
Well, and I think that's problematic. And also, why didn't the dad stop this? Didn't he had to have known something was up, right?
Oh, absolutely. I'm assuming they went together, and so he probably thought, oh, well, this is payback, but like that's not a good look for the dad either. And if he's so insistent on, it's us, both of us or neither, like you're probably best cutting him off too, because it doesn't sound like he's a very good person either.
Yeah, well, it really boggles my mind here, because I agree that it seems like they had to have come together, and he didn't give OP any kind of heads up or warning or anything like that. And then also, OP took about the kindest route possible, because usually someone who wears white will end up accidentally getting wine spilled on them or something else, and it doesn't even sound like that happened. It sounds like OP just took the knocks and just let it go. And then it was kind of like the last straw with the whole, I hope this one lasts, which doesn't even make any sense. It's her first marriage. And also, OP isn't marrying someone because of they cheated on them or something like that, right?
Exactly. It's a completely different situation.
So I think that Sarah here is just a very bitter, angry individual. And again, like what Amber says, I don't really feel like there's any problem going no contact with that person, even if it means cutting your dad out.
Because the dad doesn't sound like a very good person either. I mean, I think you brought up a really good point that he had to have known what she was planning.
Yeah.
I think there's basically no chance that he didn't. And like, even if he didn't and she came separately, why didn't he pull her aside and be like, no, you need to go change right now?
Yeah.
Like, he clearly cares much more about her being able to be a smug jerk than he cares about his own daughter's happiness.
Yeah, and I think that that's really what this boils down to. So, cut them both out, OP. Anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, our next letter on the Saturday morning special, it's very special now, right? Is titled, Am I a jerk for not wanting my husband to share the lunches that I pack for him with his female coworker? Well, a year ago, my husband, a 30-year-old male, started working as a high school teacher. I was over the moon for him. So I started packing him a beautiful and created bento-style lunch, which he loves. Well, his coworker, all female, naturally got jealous of his lunches, as he would show them off, and would start asking to taste the lunches that I packed for him. At this point, he is full on sharing his lunches with a particular coworker, a 27-year-old female, that never seems to have her own lunch at school. This is a grown woman. She should be cooking for herself. Instead, she shows up around my husband while eating nothing but a bag of chips, so he ends up feeling bad and shares his lunch with her. I swear, this woman acts like a hungry puppy dog. So annoying. I don't even want to continue making his creative lunches if I know that he isn't going to be the only one eating them. Am I wrong for feeling this way? All right, folks, what do you think?
I don't think OP's being a jerk here. She was making her husband special lunches out of the kindness of her heart, and he's been sharing them with coworkers, and I think it's fine to not want your labors to go to like other people. And so I think, he's a grown adult, he can pack his own lunches. It's not like OP's hurting him by not packing his lunches.
Yeah, I have a lot of complicated feelings about this one. And part of the reason is like these are gifts to him, right?
Well,
and sorry.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say you're right that they're gifts, but she's just saying, so I'll stop giving you gifts, and you're entitled to stop gift giving at any point.
Yeah. I mean, I think that this is perfectly fine for her to not want to put in the effort if she doesn't feel like it's appreciated by him. And the world is tough out there. I think it really just depends on her intentions. Like if this 27-year-old female high school teacher isn't making a lot of money, then she may not feel like she has the ability to have her own lunches. But I mean, if she's working in the same area as the OP's husband, then she should be making a comparable amount of money, I would imagine, too.
Well, and there are food banks and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there are certainly a lot of deeper issues here. And I think it's unfortunate that if this is a case of food insecurity, that she does have food insecurity. And I think that OP's husband is a good person. It really depends. Like, if OP's worried about him cheating and that's their big thing, then I think that needs to be a larger discussion that they have. I think they need to maybe consider going and having a discussion, potentially even marriage counseling, to kind of talk about why OP feels so resentful about this situation.
Well, and there is indication in the comments that this coworker has done other things that OP finds inappropriate, so it does sound like it's more, and that was my guess too with my first reading, was not that it's an issue of food insecurity, because while that is an unfortunate issue that a lot of people face, and everyone should be entitled to food, I don't get those vibes from this situation. And reading some of OP's comments, it seems more like she's trying to woo him.
Yeah. Well, but it's I would say it's hard to woo somebody if you're constantly giving them, right? So, I mean, I'm not saying that you're wrong. It could very well be a case where this person is trying to steal OP's husband, so to speak.
Or she just likes being cared for by someone else. She's getting something out of this relationship that's not entirely cool with OP, so...
Yeah. Well, and again, I can't blame OP for feeling resentful in this situation. I certainly can't. And I feel bad that they feel that they're taking advantage of their kindness. But I do feel that at a certain point, this is also a gift to her husband, and if she doesn't want to give gifts to her husband anymore, then he can pack his own lunch, and I mean, I guess that's that. And so I think this is just really kind of a marital issue that they kind of have to work through on their own and potentially have some really hard conversations ahead. So I think communication hopefully will help to kind of bring around a good solution here. So that's kind of my thought. It's a difficult situation, it really is. I think there's a lot of complexity here. So anyhow, take care and good luck. Oh, and let me know what you folks think. Team Brian or Team Amber?
Definitely Team Amber.
Take care and good luck. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I do not have tea. I have coffee. And Amber has a joke for us.
A duck waddles into the grocery store to buy a can of soda. The clerk looks down at him and asks, "Would you like to pay with cash or credit?" The duck replies, "Just put it on my bill."
Makes sense. The duck was looking for grapes. Just avoid the duct tape and glue. It's from a song. There's an old internet thingy.
Brian is showing his age.
Well, no, I mean it's a popular meme.
Oh, I have no idea.
From the ancient YouTubes. Maybe even the old Flash videos. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for joining us on this Saturday morning special. And of course, as you know, what makes Saturday morning special, aside from the coffee, it's you.
Does that mean I can't have a special Saturday morning because I have tea instead of coffee?
No, you're still special. And I'm just saying aside from the coffee.
But does that mean my day's less special because I don't have coffee?
It's as special as you want it to be.
Okay.
And Amber, I need some moral guidance, so please provide me some moral guidance and have it involve the color blue.
If OP in the first story is feeling a little blue about having her stepmom wear white to her wedding, I think the important thing to keep in mind is that she just looked like a fool to everyone.
Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you all tomorrow.
Bye.